the garden so we can all see your banners over here, or hold them up. Come on, guys. Come over and we can have a really good crowd here for a photo. So big cheer for all the banners that everybody's made and brought with them. Really fantastic. That's really, really appreciated. And the trade unions form a very important part of the Stop the War Coalition. And without them pressurising in the way they do and supporting us with money and talking to their union members, we would be lost. So I'd like to introduce to you Anne McCormack from Unison, who was until very recently on the International Committee. So very warm welcome to Anne.
Good afternoon, friends. To turn your back on the murdered children of Gaza is to condone a crime against humanity. The appalling situation in Gaza, the indiscriminate murder of children and the bombing of hospitals and civilians is an international outrage. The siege is a reminiscence of what went on in Sarajevo, and we've got to learn lessons from that and from the lessons we took forward in the early 60s when like-minded people came together to boycott South African goods and bring about the fall of apartheid. The parallels are drawn there, and we must learn those lessons and work to bring them to fruition now. Unison fully supports this rally and the rally on Saturday and condemns the atrocities the Zionists are inflicting with apparent impunity. Support the boycott. Contact your MP and the BBC to tell them of your disgust at the UK and the US government supplying arms to Israel, which are being used to murder civilians and children. Do not be silent in this. We have a voice. We can speak out. We can make a bigger noise now with the World Wide Web than we ever could in 1963. End the siege. Long live Palestine. Long live Palestine Solidarity Campaign.
Thank you, Anna. That's just the support and heartening support that we need. And to follow on from that, we have another trade unionist, Jeff, who's just disappeared from my eye line. He was standing here. Right, there he goes. From the Bakers Union, who've been campaigning around this issue for more than 15 years. So for the Bakers Union, it's Jeff. We'll just move out the way for us.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. My name's Jeff. Start again. Good evening, brothers and sisters. My name's Jeff. I'm 57. I was born just round the corner in Salford from Dockingstock. I've been a trade union activist nearly all my adult life. 30 years ago this year, I was in prison twice for back in the miners up, even though I was in the T&G at the time. The second time I got the biggest kicking I've ever had in my life. But that's apart. The Bakers Union and the other unions in this country need to create the links. Don't believe politicians. Politicians do not end wars. This will end wars. What's out here now? In New York, in London, in Paris, in Rome. The beginning of the end of the troubles in Northern Ireland. Don't believe it was John Major. Don't believe it was Tony Blair. It was the women's peace movement that brought the end to the troubles in Northern Ireland. The mothers and sisters and aunties who were fed up of seeing the men killed. So they came out on the street, and that's what brought an end to the troubles in Northern Ireland. If we as working class people, if we as trade unionists can put the pressure on the politicians, this is what will stop Gaza. This is what will stop the bullets and the bombs. We have to stand together. One other thing, the end to apartheid in South Africa, don't believe politicians. You know they're lying when they move the lips, because every time they move the lips they're lying. The thing that ended apartheid in South Africa was boycotts. I used to drive my first wife up the wall. We'd go shopping in a supermarket. She'd put a tin of South African pears in the shopping trolley. I'd take it out and put it back on the shelf and get a tin from somewhere that wasn't killing people and keeping people out of work. If you people can stand together, have words with your trade union leaders and stand together, it is this right round the world that will bring an end to Gaza. Do not put your faith in politicians. In this country we have a government who remembers in 2010 on the ballot paper voting for coalition. So we have an unlawful government ruling this country. Who remembers 7 years ago Barack Obama saying, "I'll close Guantanamo Bay"? There's still people there that have been there for donkey's years without a trial. Do not put your faith in politicians. Put your faith in one another, stand together, and we as a human race can stop the bullets and the bombs. Thank you.